May the Lord count it, I'ma keep my head up to the day that he crowned it now. Since day one, we been about it, nigga. I've been going hard since the day that I found it. It's 144 to the day the Lord counted. I'ma keep my head up to the day that he crowned it. They wanna fame, they wanna clout. That's why they doubt. I got them black, I want a class. And I shut my mouth. This was way before polite. Before I came to campsites, I came broken and contrite. I just wanted to live right, clean my soul and give my life. Had to give up all my vice. I got a fog out my head. I was raised from the dead. I put down that weed and I cut off my dreads. For before I could lead, I had to learn to be led. Now I'm a bad motherfucker. Walk around and I straight flex on suckers. No one specific, I'm talking to all of you busters. Straight from the gutter, me and my brother, we the long cover. Now, running it like a conductor. Hebrew Academy, I'm the instructor. 14 written all on my cover. Men of war like we.
Shalom, Lord Christ.
Shalom, Lord Christ. What's going on out?
Shit ain't shit. Chilling, my Lord. What's going on?
Ain't about nothing, but let's settle this shit, though.
Shit, what you talking about, Cal?
Verse for verse, right now, like, what's up?
Shit, I'm at the verse with the brothers. It's whatever.
All right, meet me at Glenwood,
15 minutes.
I've been the best from the rip, rumors addressing the grip. This how I get, homie. You keep all them hoes. My wife is all on my dick. You ain't that lit. Had me come brighten you up, ratchet to tighten you up. Hop on the truck, caliber heavy as shit. Effing as light as a fuck. Keep it a buck. Others ain't for you enough. My brother's the only I trust. Loyalty shit. I did that royalty shit. Rappers right under the bus. I mean that literally, bro. You not feeling me. But Nelly shotgun straight out of Italy. You liability. You cannot get with me. You cannot physically fuck with my family. I got the sauce. I got the juice. I got so much I can share it with you. Nothing can spare it. I made it apparent that rappers can't walk up a mile on my shoes. How could I lose? Niggas done copied the groove. Count out the eyes and the ooh. I need to move, I need to grip with a pool. Limos in front of the school. We ain't that cool. I fuck with 144. Friend was just ready for war. Pray to the Lord, just like an artist I draw. You in his raws before. My style is supernatural. I send them shooters at you, and all you hear is pat, 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 like they wearing tattoos. It ain't no shucking jiving. These soldiers built like linemen. They beat your ass, you hit the stand, you singing, feeling timing. These suckers so Takashi. I ain't got
think it's just about us and hit, but this is about an oppressive, fucked up system designed to keep niggas down and shit. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. What about you, little nigga? You know about that?
Yes.
Oh, you know about that? Tell me what you know about that. Tell me what you think about that.
I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. Belly of the beast, we been living in hell. They like, damn Kai, how could you tell? Put us in the project, set us up to fail. Round here, bullets be flying like hell. Too many of my niggas either dead or in jail. Make a nigga work when you locked in a cell. Can't find work when you out on bail, but your homie got the work, so we passed you a scale. Got them birds like the Bible got quail. Niggas selling out cause they mama got bills. Turned into coons like Oprah and Gail. How you sell your soul just to get a little kale? They put you in a dress when you get a record deal. Wanna see a nigga getting high on pills? You can dance on a pole, you can sell that tail, but they never tell a nigga that he can go to Yale. We all created equal, that's white males. All lives matter, not black males. Another mother crying, another coffin got a nail. How many brothers out here?
Yay-Z, you know the chop. I.S.U.P.K. Badness no sir. Let me tell you what the badness here. Dopey bat fly when the clock display. Tell a boy say no try box this face. You know all your blood clot caskets stay, boy. You must see one back this prayer. When the map stick raise that big straight. You shot this place. The key them in your head stop misbehav. Catch his face. The key never tell us so we lock this place. Which locksmith anyway watch this place. War red them bunny like plastic plate, hey. We don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR rounds. We don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR rounds. We no take drape up. We no take beat up, we no stay up. And when the next day come, we no change up. My heart them brothers, them wake up. Take care, boss boy, head top shake up. So tell a pussy world don't violate us. No care where you status, where you take up. Every man a killer till me for dead face you. Straight up, great stuff. One Westling bigger than NATO. Man we bust it to NATO. Only man we afraid that are the creator, the maker. Hey, we don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15s and AR rounds. We don't play around. When you see the UPK around, we bring the fucking AK around. AR-15 and AR rounds.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shemir Shah, Salakia, Yahweh Shemir Shah, Barak thumb to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemar, thumb Shemir Shah to all the sisters. Salakia, I don't know why I was about to mess that whole thing up, and I've been saying that thing for months. Right, I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja of the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA. I got with me my main man, Priest and Officer 500 Barakia Allah. Right,
hey,
this
shalom,
is Rise.
Christ.
Hey, Shalom, what's going on?
Hey, another episode of the
Right,
Rise
another
1969
episode.
podcast. The best
Right.
show on earth every Sunday afternoon. You understand? See, at this point, we're already in the evening. Good night. Every Sunday evening, the Rise 1969 podcast, you understand? Brought to you by House 1000 Zabaja and the host one the most 500 Barak.
Right, so again, we got another episode, right? This is another fly episode of the Rise 1969, right? And if you notice, I was playing some music earlier, right? Now, listen, we got to give a hand to Captain Kakasa, because that was that was effing amazing, good work you did with that app, right? Tribe-vibes.com, vibes with a Z. Right, you get on, you sign up, you get to. We got our own platform, right? Where we can't get canceled now. You can't take our music off. Like the brother Natazab, he put out DEFCON 4 because some Amalekite, some man who stole our ancestry, right, was making a song, and he was trying to make a song to diss Kanye because Kanye says the Jews are black. It's like black people can be anything but the Jews. And what was worse, Kanye didn't even say what we say. We say the kosher deals is not a Jew and we are the Jews. Kanye said he's a Jew too. He wasn't even saying they weren't a Jews, and they got big offended. Right. So our brother Natazab, he put a song out, and they took that song off YouTube within 24 hours. He put it back up though. Right. So now Captain Katazai, he made a platform where you could put out a song and YouTube won't take down your Salakia. YouTube won't take down your music, right? You won't be getting paid a penny for 1,000 streams. Imagine you made a song and someone plays it 1,000 times and you only get a penny out of it.
Good night. That's some real devilish shit.
Right. The devil, he's here to steal. Right, Salakia, that's actually a precept. Salakia, we might have to find that later. Right, but the devil, he's here to steal. Right, our oppressor, that's what he was made to do. Our oppressor was made to steal. Right. So again, this is the Rise 1969. Salakia, we're about to get to it. Baraki Allah, you got a couple stories for us.
Good night. What do you want to start with, Adawan?
Salakia, where should we start with? That is a good question.
Salakia, you send those articles to my email, right?
Yeah, I sent them to your email. You might want to check to figure out if it's there. Let me know. I think we'll start with number one. We'll start with Venezuela.
No, so I could open it. So number one, So this is a French article. If you open it with Chrome, you could translate it in English. So like, you want me to share the article in the chat?
La, you don't have to share the article in the chat. 1 second. Well, as the show goes on, we'll start dropping the links to these articles. Just give us a couple minutes, Barack. You can read it.
It says cooperation between Russia and the Caribbean is discussed in Venezuela.
Right. So again, like, listen, all these nations are on the move, right? And you can see what is going on in Venezuela. First, the U.S. destabilized Venezuela, and now you got Putin, big bad Putin. He's trying to get into Venezuela because he knows that the powers are shifting, and he's trying to grab up some of the market, some of the landscape for himself. Like, you already got China. China got like 17 trillion in GDP, right? America has 22. China is trying to become the next superpower. Russia's trying to get in where they can fit in. And right now they're seeing that they fit in with China. So they said, you know what? Let's go over to Venezuela. Let's go talk to Venezuela. And throughout his time.
Actually, they're not talking to any politicians in Venezuela. As we go down, right, in the article, you're going to see that Ralph Gonsalves, which is the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is meeting up with the Russian officials in Venezuela, actually.
Right, but they're definitely in Venezuela meeting, right? But you can definitely see that Venezuela, they have a stake in this argument too, or they wouldn't be in Venezuela. It's like you can see that Russia's been trying to get into somewhere in South America, right? You can see that they've been trying to get into it with the so-called Hispanic tribes. Right. From back when they did it with Manessa, back in what was that, the 60s, damn near the 50s, Slovakia.
If I may, Adawan.
Card.
Well, first off, one day I live with Cuba, just for some clarification to those who listening. Castro is not a brother, nor was Che Guevara. They are actually Spaniards. That's first off. Second, they already are in Latino America. We brought it out last year in one of our episodes. The how you call it? I forgot if it's the Prime Minister or President of Nicaragua. He's having Russian troops train over there already, as of last year.
So that's always been a thing where they want into some of the West, like the European countries. Now they're trying to stretch their hands west, right? Just like the West has stretched its hands east. Well, let's get more into this article. Let's find out what's going on.
No sweat out of one. So, like I was saying, Ralph Gonsalves, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Sergei Lavrov, Russian Foreign Minister, discussed cooperation. The two men met in Venezuela before Russia took over the presidency of the United Nations Security Council this Monday, April 24th, 2023. Sergei Lavrov also stopped in Brazil, Nicaragua, and Cuba.
All right, so there's a whole mission that they're on where they're trying to get some of the countries. Now this is the thing, right? America has neglected these countries and didn't bring them into the fold for so long, right? Which is going to tie into an article that we're going to a couple more articles we're going to read on the Caribbean and the drug and guns problems, right? We're going to touch on that as well because that definitely ties into this. But America has they've acted like these countries don't exist, except for when rich Caucasian men want to go and have a vacation and fill their face with all of the drugs they can find and try to buy as many sisters that they can find in these places.
Oh, God. So if I keep reading the article, it says, for a week, Sergei Lavrov made official visits to Brazil, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Venezuela. Ralph Gonsalves, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, traveled to Venezuela to meet this right-hand man of Vladimir Putin.
Right. So they went to go meet. They're discussing what the terms are going to be. That's what they're going to do. They're trying to figure out how to execute this thing. Right. Again, the Most High is bringing these nations to war, and everyone's choosing sides. Right. Now, there's going to be some. Okay. So as we get into this, right? Slovakia. The Prime Minister, Barack, you were talking about the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, right?
Karawakan.
And you said this is a devil or an Arab?
He's a Portuguese.
So he's a devil. Good night.
Karawakan.
Right. So the Prime Minister of St. Vincent is not even a brother, right? Now, this is something that is going to be a tough pill for Black people to swallow, for Hispanics and Native Americans to swallow. You don't have to vote ever. Especially for someone that's not your brother, right? Barack, can you find that precept? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Like you were breaking up a bit in my headphones. Could you repeat?
Barack, can you find the precept about not putting someone that's not your brother over you? I believe it's in Leviticus. Hold on.
Okay, I believe so as well. Give me 1 second.
We use it for not voting. Right. There's a thing that happens where Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we like to put heathens over us, right? We put heathens over us, and whenever you tell, like if you ever have a conversation with someone that's old, they're basically going to say, like, listen, we vote because our ancestors fought and died for the right to vote, right? And then you just got to ask them, well, how has that helped us? It hasn't helped us at all, right? On one hand, it's a game that politicians play, right? So they can get more money. On the other, it's something we do thinking it's going to put us in a better position when it never puts us in a better position. And every time we vote for a heathen, it puts us in a worse position, because now, instead of just sitting back and watching the heathen nations fight each other, you got a man above our people who's basically going to lead them into war so they can go die for some heathens, right? Bro, did you find that precept?
So like, give me 1 second, because I was responding to a Kayad one and also a bottom one. They may jump in.
God, no sweat.
Voting. Give me 1 second, other one.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm going to go look through my precept book right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now.
So it's definitely one of the voting precepts.
It's like I just need to reorganize all my precepts.
Yeah, you got to get that precept book in order.
Damn
One
right.
second. Take me to Deuteronomy 17 and 14. Right. Now, usually so we're going to break down this precept for you, right? It's going to teach you not to vote, right? And again, this is the Rise 1969. We're trying to rise out of the dust, out of the destruction, out of the graveyard that we've been living in, right? And we see Israel on a rise daily. Slovakia, Leviticus.
Come on, I got it. Deuteronomy 17.
Right. Deuteronomy 17, I believe 14, I said.
14 and 15 are the one. I got them whenever you're ready.
You could read 15.
Or
you could read actually 14. You could start at 14. That's a good one to start, right? Because we're seeing that our brothers have a heathen over them, and now he wants them to deal with Russia, right? As if their oppression is going to get any better because they chose another heathen, right? So you can read it when you got it.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 14. When thou art come unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Meaning the land of Israel was given to us. And this is to show you, wherever you go and decide to put a house up, that's not your land. It's the Lord's, right? The Lord owns that land, right? Wherever you go and decide to live, you might think you earned it, you tilled the earth, but the Lord is the reason why the earth was being tilled for you. The Lord is the reason why you're growing crops. Never think that you actually own something. Everything you have in this life is given to you from the Lord. Keep reading.
And shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein,
Read.
and shalt say, I will set a king over me.
Right. So
Like
now you want to be like the heathen nations. You want to set a king over you. Right. Okay. I think we never had kings. We had judges. Right.
Right.
But because we want to be like heathen nations, we want to set a king over us. So let's see what the Most High says about setting a king, a ruler, someone that's going to be responsible for us, someone that's going to make all the decisions for us, right? That's when we're going to war and when we're not going to war, right? Let's read.
As all the nations that are about me. Deuteronomy chapter 17. Salakia?
No. Finish from where you were. You missed a word. That's all I'll say.
Like as all the nations that are
Read
about
from, I
me.
will set a king over me.
I will set a king over me. Like as all the nations that are about me.
Right. We wanted a king over us because we wanted to be like the nations. We seen how these nations operated and we wanted to be like them. That's why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you vote, because you want to be like your oppressor. You think that voting is going to help you. It's never helped. Ask yourself, the politician that you're going to vote for, ask yourself, when was the last time you seen him? And as you scramble through your brain to recall the last time you seen this politician that's in your neighborhood trying to solicit a vote from you, you're going to realize the last time you seen any politician in your neighborhood was around the same time, 4 years ago, around this same time when they're coming to buy a vote from you. Keep reading.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Right.
One from among
Thou shalt in any wise set a king over thee. Right? Now, who are you going to set a king? You're not setting a king over you. Guess who's going to choose? Okay, so what we're reading is the Lord is going to set a king over you. Right? You're not supposed to set a king over you because you're going to choose some heathen. It's just that simple, right? Okay, I was testing, messing around with these views, right? You're not supposed to set a king over you. That's what you're fighting here. You're not supposed to do it because you're gonna choose a heathen. It's just like, listen, why a lot of fathers would tell their daughters that, okay, realistically, a daughter wants her father to choose her husband because she's going to choose the guy with the Benz and what he has on the Balenciagas and the Givenchy's and $2,000 shoes, but no home. He has on a $20,000 chain, but he's about to get raided and shot by the police in that raid in 24 hours, right? That's the man that she's going to choose. Well, when it comes to the nation of Israel, we're going to choose someone that doesn't have our best benefits, and we do it all the time, right? Keep reading.
One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee.
So the Lord is going to choose our king, but one from among what?
One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee.
So wait, Brock, what does that mean exactly?
Salakia one. That means that stinking devil in St. Vincent should not be the prime minister. He's not. He's not of our people. You
Right,
understand?
but break it down easier for the people who are listening.
Count Salakia. If we ever have someone governing us, it should be one from our own nation, not no heathen.
Right. You want your brother. You want someone who has his people's interest in mind. You don't want to elect someone or set someone over you that doesn't have your best interest in mind. It's horrible. You're gonna be like the Benjamites of St. Vincent, right? Where they have a devil over them, and he's now taking talks with Russia to figure out what side of the coin are they going to be on. When brothers and sisters, you don't have to choose a side of the coin. You don't have to flip the coin at all. You just have to chill. Just you do what I do, right? I'm gonna show you what you do. You sit back, right? You turn on the news, you get a cup like this, and you watch. And every once in a while you do this. I'm gonna show you.
Most High in Christ.
All right. And then you call Barack and be like, Barack, did you just see this? Y'all talk about that. That's what you're supposed to do. Right. Barack, keep reading.
Khan. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
A stranger. Who is a stranger? Like what when it says stranger, what's it talking about?
Salakia one, if I may.
Right.
In the context of that verse, a stranger is a non-Israelite.
Right. Context over everything, right? Because a stranger could be a brother, meaning a man could come out of a land, he's an Israelite, but he doesn't live in your land, so he's a stranger to you. But in this context, it's talking about a heathen, someone who doesn't share the same blood, is not from the same family, doesn't have the same interests. That you want family to be over you, right? Excuse me. Okay. So we could drop that. I just want to break down that precept, just show you the issue that's happening in St. Vincent right now. And we can go back to that article. We can break down this article.
If I keep reading, it says the member countries of CARICOM, which stands for the Caribbean Community. Give me 1 second, I want because the article just froze on me.
God, no sweat. Right, I'll keep reading until you catch up. Have validated this trip, according to Ralph Gonsalves. A resolution in the war in Ukraine was among the topics discussed with the Russian Prime Minister. Right, listen, this heathen is trying to because this heathen doesn't understand. The heathens don't understand. The Christian church is not teaching this. The war in Ukraine is just it's literally the previews in the movie. It's not even the full movie. It's literally the previews. Right. The movie's just about to start. This Gonsalves thinks Ralph. I'm just calling him Ralph. Ralph thinks he's going to talk to Putin about stopping the war in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is of the Lord. You can't stop it, right? There's going to be more destruction, more war, right? You can keep reading, or you could add if you want to. If you got something you want to add, bro, you already know what's up.
Let me get back. 1 second, I'm just trying to open it on my other phone. Yeah, so basically, you know, understand, just like Officers about it, we're just saying, listen, right now, we're like what? We're probably in season, I would say season 5. You understand? I would say we're in season 5 right now, and we're like probably like episode 5. What do you say? Give or take episode 5 out of one.
For what would the show? What would the show be? We be talking about?
What the show? I don't know. The I would say the final captivity. This is the final captivity. Yes,
Man,
or the Jews are black. Let's say it's a lucky odd one. I cannot name the show. The Most High has to name the show.
yeah,
You
it's the Most
understand?
High show. We'll just say it's the Most High show. And he listen, this season is very interesting. We're seeing
Right.
buildings fall. We're seeing earthquakes in diverse places. We watched what was it last season? We watched all of Edom run into the Capitol building. Like,
Good night.
right?
That
We,
that
we
was
watched
a yeah.
we
I
watched
love
we
that
watched
episode. Other one.
events. Yeah, that was a Tawab episode. Let me show you what I was doing, Brock. I was like this. I had to lean back in it, like, okay.
1 second. Other one. We have Jamaica in the place. Hey, Shalom, Mark.
Jamaica.
Yeah,
Thumb, Wagwan.
yeah, we're there, my brother.
Hey, Shalom, you sugar thumb.
Yabashem Shakata,
Water,
man.
we got precinct. Went to Wad, man. We got precinct officer 500 Kayadwan. What's going on?
Damn right.
There, man. They are upon the ground in Jamaica as usual. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Right.
So
Well,
that,
you
officer,
timed in the perfect.
go ahead,
Salakia?
sir. Go ahead, sir.
No,
Let us-
no, you got it.
May I say, Officer Abada one, you know what I mean, will be on shortly.
Okay,
Most
no
High in
sweat.
Christ.
Good.
Most
Hey,
high Christ.
Salakia. We're basically touching on a couple articles that I sent you, that we touched on on Friday for the Jamaica podcast. Right now, we're reading the article about the devil who's over Vinci meeting with the Russians in Venezuela.
Okay, gone.
You know,
Gone.
Yeah,
and
so that's
basically,
basically what we're talking about. We were going in and Barack was reading. Barack was just reading this article, right? Where the Vinci prime minister, he's trying to talk to Putin about basically saying like, yo, one of the discussions they had is how to stop the war in Ukraine. And because it's that the prime minister is a heathen, he's not understanding that the war can done. Salakia.
right. Hey, Shalom Adawan Yahbashim Shabbat.
Shalom Abadan Yahweh What's going on, Abadan?
Not much. Putting in the Most High's work.
Okay, Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Putting in that brick, definitely. Definitely putting in that brick. Right. So basically, we're talking about there was a conference in Venezuela, Russia, and I guess is Barack. What was the name of that group? The Caribbean Community?
Right, CARICOM.
Yeah.
So Russia had a meeting with CARICOM, and that's what we're discussing. And Barack, you could read some more of this article, and then we'll go with more in on it.
The member countries of CARICOM, the Caribbean Community, have validated this trip. According to Ralph Gonsalves, a resolution to the war in Ukraine was among the topics discussed with the Russian ministers. They also discussed the possibility of developing bilateral relations between Russia and the region. Ralph Gonsalves expressed his opposition to the sanctions imposed on Russia by NATO member countries, as well as the draconian measures taken by the United States against the government of Venezuela in order to weaken the regime of President Nicolás Maduro.
Right. So now America is going to start feeling it because they've neglected so many of the countries that are on their, if not their borders, in their zone. Right. They've neglected so many countries that are not, basically you could say these countries are a stone throw away from America, and they've neglected them, and now Russia is sensing an opportunity. And listen, Russia wants some of that trillions of dollars that China's getting. They're seeing how China is going around the earth and buying everything, and Russia wants it. Right. So Akim, what do you guys got to say about this?
I'm gonna ask a bottom one startup.
All right, Salaki, from me.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right on point with that. In that, it's America's fault. They
Right.
they have dished nothing but dirt to Jamaica in particular. I have to speak in terms of Jamaica, CARICOM in general, but Jamaica in particular, in terms of the things that made Jamaica strong. The, it was agriculture generally, the bananas, the sugar,
Right.
right? And what they did was to kill coconut. You know, there was a time when Jamaica did not import oil, as in cooking oil, no form of cooking oil.
Good night. So you're
Yeah,
telling
we
me
were.
Jamaica's importing cooking oil right now?
Wow, which other way we're gonna get it? You come out here,
Good night.
you see vegetable oil. Which other way are we going to get it? Vegetable oil,
Good night.
whatever that is.
Right.
Soybean oil, um, olive oil. Probably the only oil we used to import was olive oil.
Right.
But as for oil for cooking, we were 100% self-sustainable with our coconut oil. And we used to export coconut, the coconut husk, you know what they call the coconut trash when you get
Right.
out the husk to get the hard nut. The
Yeah.
husk used to be used for filling a mattress. So we had a spin-off from that with the mattress industry that is dead. From when coconut died, several things died with it. We had the hard shell that was used in craft making, that died. I mean, so and that was just the coconut. Then there was the banana, there was the
So
sugar.
one second about it one, if I may.
Hmm.
So my question is, was the coconuts in Jamaica, were they being exported as well? Like, was it a source of revenue for the Benjamites? Like, we would export coconuts to outside countries?
Can we had a coconut industry board. The coconut industry was so big that the government had to set a separate entity within government to monitor coconuts.
Good, nice. And now
Then,
you're saying that industry's dead.
well, in the 60s to 70s, um, America approached our government and tell them that, we're going to help your coconut industry. We're going to provide, help you to get rid of pests. So the government allowed them to come in and with spray plane and thing and spray our coconut insecticide, spray the coconut, spray the cane. Well, years after, we realized that what they were actually doing was infesting our coconut with what we call leaf of yellowing, right?
Good night.
Which
Good,
is,
nice.
yeah, which brought our coconut industry to zero. We had the coconut that as you ever hear they talk about Mandora coconut.
Right.
That is the native Jamaican coconut. That coconut was here before slavery started. It grew naturally in Jamaica.
Right.
That kill out. They kill that out. And
So
then
this
hold
God,
on. And then they assisted us in planting a dwarf coconut, which no good. Has no flavor. After a while, the tree grows tall, but it start bearing from its young. But the nuts is no size, nowhere in size or flavor to our native coconut. So they have destroyed our coconut industry. The government have been trying to bring back the coconut industry, but that leaf of yellowing keep killing all the plant. They have not find a way to fight that what you would call it, a disease, to fight that disease. They have not find a way to properly market bananas. I mean, it's not like the world stopped eating bananas.
right.
People still eat banana. People still use sugar. People still use coconut and coconut oil, right? Those were the things that brought in the and you know what they now give us? Bauxite. What do you think our bauxite do? Who can guess and tell me what is made mainly from our bauxite?
Slovakia, sir. Aluminum.
Aluminum. And what is that aluminum made for? Made with. Or they use it to make?
They use it to make vehicle planes, you know what I mean? Basically everything that, you know what I mean? Basically the entire automobile industry. Not
Well,
only that,
that's
Slovakia.
what we wish they were doing.
Gone.
These bauxite, these aluminum are made. All right, the one of our largest bauxite company in Jamaica, the one in Clarendon, is owned by the American military industrial complex. So you know that yes, it make planes, but what kind of plane? Make war plane.
Making warplanes over there.
Not over here in America.
No, you're right. That's what I mean. They're taking
Yeah.
the material to make the warplanes.
So, you know, with the growth of the military industrial complex, we saw a growth in our bauxite and rare earth minerals because they are exporting, they are mining rare earth mineral over that plant as well. I mean, I don't know what the government is getting out of it. They have destroyed what we could live off, and they have built their livings. That's what is happening. So,
Good
you know,
night. Well,
what our leaders are now seeing is an alternative with Russia. I don't know if China is much of an alternative, you know, because countries that the Chinese invest in, all those investments is to the benefit of the Chinese government.
Right.
Jamaica has gotten real beneficial investment before from Russia, even Cuba. Cuba assisted us in our agriculture far more than any assistance we get from China or even from Russia itself. What I know we used to get from Russia is the opportunity to send persons to Russia for training to be doctor or an engineer or whatever it is. We had free access to the Russian universities. We had free access to the Cuban universities. When I say free access, it means that we never used to pay tuition. I don't know, you know, maybe the deal that what they are looking at with Russia now, maybe they go back to that. I don't know if that's what they are looking at, but we were gaining from that side of politics. But you know, America anything that is not America is evil.
right.
Kalamakan.
Right. We hold up. We got a comment from I Am Judah. Even the Blue Mountain Coffee. 1 second. I'm gonna just post it up real quick. But Judah say, bear with me. Bear with me a moment. So Judah say, even the Blue Mountain Coffee they could have pushed to help boost the Jamaican economy, but the oppressor has cut our people off. Right.
Well, yeah. So like the Blue Mountain Coffee is now owned by the Chinese, really. But I mean, really, of a fact, Blue Mountain Coffee was mainly owned by an oppressor.
Right.
It wasn't owned by the Jamaican people.
That's like most of the things that in our neighborhoods and in the places we call home, right? Which is gonna lead to an article. See, everything that we're talking about today it all follows up, right? Each article goes into one another, right? It's just like an article or a video we're gonna watch later, right? Barak, do you have anything anything else in this article you want to read, or we can go into the next one?
Give me 1 second.
Right, and listen, America messed up. America's push. Salakia?
No, Salaki, I was just gonna bring this out, going down a bit further in the article, but I'll let you go first. I don't want.
Now, I was just gonna say, like we said this earlier, but because America's push to destabilize places, right? Like for majority of rich white America, they treat the Caribbean islands and the South American countries like they're basically vacation spots. They're spots where Caucasians will go to live out their fantasy, or not to say fantasy, but to bring their disgusting lust to light, right? They have money that's going to stretch far. They'll go down to a Caribbean island or South America with maybe $3,000 in their pocket, and that money's stretching really far, and they're having a good time abusing the people of those places, right? So this is America's fault. Y'all wanted to push to leave these countries poor, and now Russia is swooping in just like China. And America its dollar is sealed. The fate of the American dollar is sealed. It's going to be hard times for America soon. Right.
That's right.
Before I bring out the other part of the article, before we switch up, I was gonna say this, right, regarding the all the heathens going to our countries. You understand? I spoke about this with the other one, where I think about last week. You understand? Like, because I'm at work sometimes, the devil asking where I'm from. I tell him where I'm from. Like, well, it's paradise over there. I have to say, yeah, you're right. You know, it's paradise because I'm at work, right? But at the end of the day, it's like where you are on the island and where I'm at, it is literally two different worlds. You understand? Like, I don't live next to the beach. I don't live in a resort. You understand? Like, listen, especially because, first of all, just like in Jamaica, in Puerto Rico, in Martinique, and Guadeloupe, like the devils come over there and they privatize the beaches.
Right.
And like they want us to go back home so bad. And when we're back home, they even gentrify the islands where we're at in the first place. You understand? And then it's like, just like Officer Badwan was bringing out, you understand? A lot of the economy is not in the people's hands. Like we don't own much over there. And saying our economy, they destroy it. Just like the pesticides they use in Jamaica and destroy the coconut industry. You know, in Martinique and Guadeloupe, they did pretty much the same thing. Like they poisoned the whole island to a whole other level.
Right.
You understand? Where now it's like 90% of both islands are, you know, contaminated with a pesticide called chlordecone. You understand? And okay, let me put it like this, for instance, right? It's cheaper to buy a banana in France than in Martinique and Guadeloupe. You understand? Not only that, it's like they play with the prices like it's monopoly out of it. Like one day it could be €2, the next day it's gonna be €3, and then they bring it back down to $2.50. The next day it's gonna be $3.50, and that's how they play with the prices in Martinique and Guadeloupe. You understand? Because the devils own the supermarkets, they own most of the economy over there. Good night. Listen, I don't even know how. Like the Caribbean is known for rum. But where's the Israelite owned rum distillery?
Right.
You understand?
So lucky
like they own everything. Go ahead, Ak.
I mean, if an Israelite, you know what I mean, supposed to make some rum, you know what I mean, you would have to do that illegally. You understand? Where do them lock down on, you know what I mean, some brothers. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you say what the brothers did are good, but you know what I mean. They were basically making them own rum, putting it in Ray and Navy buckles. You understand? And then clamp down on them like terrorists. You understand? So I guess if the brothers know how to make rum, then more likely these brothers would have tried to get them license and so forth and thing, but couldn't get it. Them like everything that we try to get license for and all them things. Right now, even permits to keep dance and them thing they hard forget.
You understand? And to Barack Allah's previous point to him, I say, you know what I mean? Tourists come to these islands, Zine, and them say we live in paradise, not knowing that the people that live in these islands don't experience the paradise that them come experience. You understand?
Right.
You understand? Officer Zabadia come to Jamaica and he enjoy Bob Marley Beach and thing. And I want to tell us right now, government look for take away Bob Marley Beach from, you know what I mean? At least sell it for hotel chain right now. So even that. And that is not one of the pretty beach them, you know. Bob Marley's Slakia, go ahead, sir.
Listen, remember when I first heard that actually vexed me, because like that is one of, for that area, every time I come down there, there's not much to do. But just to walk down to the beach, you walk down gully, go down a beach road, everything's blessed. Like it was a vibe to hear that people, or the brothers and sisters who've been living there for over 50 years and developed the beach, they're the reason why you can even go down there in the beach. You're gonna lose what they've had as a staple. You got brothers out there selling bracelets. I bought a bracelet to bring back up to my rib, right? You got brothers out there selling food. You have brothers out there who built up gazebos so you can little shack so you can sit down so the sun doesn't burn off your head.
Run electricity and run water, everything.
Right.
You understand? Chop out the bushes because the beach was purely bushes, you know.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think, sir, that is the shitting wood, the maca tree. Beer that used to dip on the beach. See?
What are the beach?
Bob Marley Beach, sir.
Oh, Bob
Marley Beach by Napa.
I don't know if you ever been to that, but that is when you pass where me live and you go down the road. See? Down to where you call.
Right.
You know what I mean? A place called Beach Road. But before the man them developed the beach and all them things there. That just be a bush, maca. But now that it has drawn so much attention, more sell it to a hotel chain, you understand? And that is it. We don't get to keep nothing. You understand?
Right.
Don't get to keep nothing, for real.
So lucky, and you know that it is always the all-inclusive hotel that they say they give these things too. Okay. So you get, they are the ones who come in. You don't even get a trickle down.
Good.
And I remember you were saying that about a while.
I wonder if our government really know the effect of not having trickle down within your economy so that the poor can get something. Why? Where you going to drop a bomb and blow up all poor people? You expect you expect them to just roll over and play dead? What is it you expect from them?
So like the other one, if I may. You know, what's interesting is that you say is that what are you gonna do? You know, for instance, drop a bomb and kill poor people. The reason they're not gonna do that is just like we brought this out on La Pura Neta last Monday, where there was a devil talking about, you know, to get rid of the drug problem in Mexico and America, let's just drop a bomb in Mexico. And the reporter was like, "What do you mean drop a bomb in Mexico?" She wanted to make it seem like she was worried. You understand? But really, she was not worried about the Mexican people or dropping a bomb on Mexicans. It's just she was worried that, you know, if you ever drop a bomb in Mexico, drop a bomb in Jamaica, in Martinique, Guadeloupe, you're gonna bomb her resort. You're gonna bomb her paradise. You understand? So it's like when they want to put boots on the ground in our country, they know where to put boots on the ground to make sure it don't mess up, you know, their paradise, their vacation spot. You understand? So like the other one.
Right, and if I may, what the Most High is doing is now giving an alternative Russians. And you can know that the Most High is the Most High who really push them and assisting them. You know that the war that collapsed the Soviet Union, which was when they were trying to take over Afghanistan. That was what destroyed the Russian economy. You know that the war didn't last as long as this Ukraine war. You know that they did not use as much equipment as they used in this Ukraine war. You know that what happened with the Soviet Union in terms of their economic growth, and so it went down. This war has grown the Russian economy.
God.
right?
God.
And what has happened since this war now? You even have the French who was in Africa, and France has now pulled out of Africa. And who fill that void? The Russians, right?
Khan.
So
It's just
when it was communism under the Soviet Union, America accused us of trying to be communists. Now, what are they going to say? The Caribbean is becoming Putinized.
God.
you're right.
Is
Right.
that because they always try to they demonize anything they want to demonize. Our growth as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is evil to the Americans.
So
Right.
like the other one, if I
What is
may.
it they are going to accuse us of doing now? And also, the American puppets that are within Jamaica, what are they going to do now that you have Russia coming up back? And they are not coming up back as communists, right? They punish us and say that we were going communist. But the countries that were communist, like Ukraine and the former communist states, America hands and glove all of them. Spend money on them. While us in the Caribbean here, who they say, oh, you were going communist, which they know we weren't going communist because foundation being laid on the ground politically to bring in the communist.
So like Badawan, you're breaking up.
You wonder now, what is it are they going to come with this time? Because they always find something to come.
Badawan, what's interesting
But
about
you know
what
what
you
is
just Salakia?
You know what is the good thing this time? The truth is being born. And the
Right.
truth is within these regions now. That's the difference now.
Right. That's definitely a difference. What was interesting about what you just said, right? You basically said America has given money to communists, and America hasn't given money to the Caribbean or Hispanic countries, so-called Caribbean or Hispanic countries that they said were gonna be communists, and those countries haven't been communists. And the only difference is the countries the countries on the ladder, right, are all Israelite countries. It's countries full of the children of Israel. So they said, no, we're not giving the children of Israel money. But listen, we'll give they gave the Taliban money, they gave ISIS money, they gave Saddam Hussein money. Listen, they've given everybody money except us, and it comes back to again, not electing or putting people above us that are not our brothers and sisters, right? So we're gonna push through some of this a little more. We're gonna go into the next article, Salakia, because this does tie in. Or Barak, you said you wanted to read a little more out of this article.
Well, I just had one more paragraph to read just to bring attention to some of the stuff that's going on, right? So the last paragraph I'm going to read, it says, the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, will lead discussions on possible lifting of American sanctions against Venezuela. The United States has been invited to this meeting, which will take place without any Venezuelan representatives. Really?
Wait.
First of all,
One second. Right. So they want to have a meeting about Venezuela without Venezuela.
Khan, but so like if I may, I was going to mention that real quick. You understand? First of all, Gustavo Petro, he's not a brother either. The president of Colombia, he's a Spaniard. You understand? So you can understand why, he don't really give a damn about the people. He don't give a damn if any, Asherite from Venezuela is going to come at the meeting, because the reason why, they may be siding with Russia is because they have a beef with America. So you're just picking sides.
Right.
You understand? That's really what they're doing. In Gustavo Petro, I mean, listen, we all know like where cocaine comes from. You understand? But what is he doing to stop the cocaine flow? He's not doing a damn thing. You understand? He's hand in hand with the cartel. You understand? Just in, you know, just like the president of Dominican Republic or El Salvador, the prime minister of Vinci, you understand, Trinidad, Tobago, Guyana, Suriname. We have heathens that are governing us, so they don't give a damn about the people. So like, yeah, man.
God, God, that's definitely heavy. All right, Barack, let's get into our next article. Right, again, it's a belt. We're gonna keep it in the zone that we're in the Caribbean. And this one, Salakia, Barack, where did you have it?
So like, yeah, I have two articles. I have the article that said the Caribbean is vulnerable to the arms and drug trafficking. And you also have the Caribbean is the first market for the illegal trafficking of weapons made in the U.S. Which one you want to start with first?
What was the first one?
Let me just double check in the chat. Which
Well, you could go with number 2. What the order is number 2. Let's
All
see.
right, I got you.
Caribbean vulnerable to arms and drug trafficking.
Khan. Again, this is from a French news outlet, Martinique Première. You understand? We're opening the article on Chrome to have it translated for us. But it reads, the Caribbean vulnerable to arms and drug trafficking begins a united approach.
Right.
The
so
capital,
this is something.
Salakia.
Now I was just gonna say this is something that we've known for a long time. The only way you don't know this is if you've been sleeping under a rock, right? A lot of oppressors use the Caribbean islands as a port to ship their drugs all the way around the world, because a lot of ships come in to these islands, right? Y'all remember the J.P. Morgan ship that had metric tons of cocaine that was caught coming into, I believe it was one of the New York harbors, right? And where do you think those drugs are going to? Salakia, Barack?
I said, I believe so as well.
Right. I'm quite sure this J.P. Morgan liner, right? So it's a basically like the trailers, like the tank liners, like they have the shipping containers. Like if we want to send a barrel down to Jamaica, you send it on one of them shipping containers, right? So it was one of those full to the brim, to the wall to wall, ceiling to ceiling, full of cocaine.
Good night.
And you heard it got caught, and then you never heard nothing else about it. You never heard no CEOs going down. You never heard no captains going. Again, there's only captains in the I.S.U.P.K, right? But you never heard of any commanders or anybody who has authority on these ships or the routes or the ports going and doing any jail time, right? But Barack,
Salakia, if I may, you know what I mean? And nobody would have expected that, you know what I mean, narcotics would be on a JP Morgan ship. You understand?
Right.
Why? Because JP Morgan is what? A bank.
Right.
See? Which shows you that the banks, you know what I mean, the whole system corrupt. You understand? The banks are involved in the drug trade too.
Yeah, right.
The oppressor control the drug trade. You understand? And the system facilitates it when it benefits him. You understand? But when it's Hispanics doing the, you know what I mean, when it's Mexican doing the drug pushing, you understand? Not saying it is good. See? But when it's Mexican doing the drug pushing, you know what I mean, they are looked at as if they are the worst. When it is the oppressor, you know what I mean, who created the market, you understand?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's heavy what you're saying, because the oppressor created that market, right? The oppressor, listen, the banks have been involved, right? Listen, let me just take you back to a good old movie that influenced damn near the whole tribe of Judah, right? Where an oppressor played the main character. The movie's called Scarface. In the movie Scarface, the oppressor, right? You got Tony Montana. He has his men walking into banks with duffel bags filled of money, and the bank is just letting it slide. right? Like all these drug kingpins, they don't keep cash. That's for sure. They don't have a mansion full of cash because they're flying around the world. They're going on vacation. Who's watching their money? So some bank has their money, and some bank just doesn't care. They don't care, right? So we're gonna get into this article. I'm gonna read it until Barack gets back. The Caribbean vulnerable
I'm
to
back,
arms. Oh, God, no sweat.
Give me one moment. So it reads, again, the title of the article is The Caribbean Vulnerable to Arms and Drug Trafficking Begins a United Approach. The capital of Trinidad and Tobago, Port of Spain, hosted on April 17 and 18, 2023, a CARICOM symposium dedicated to violence and crime in which President Serge Letchimy participated. The political leaders of the Caribbean archipelago want to join their efforts to fight against drug and arms trafficking, which damages social ties in all our countries.
Right. Listen, Salakia, we suffer witches not to live. Right. You want to be a drug dealer, you're literally killing your family. You're killing your cousins and your brothers.
Right.
It's like this. Listen, I know a brother. So I'm gonna say it like this. I know some people who were selling drugs, right? They're in the world. And one of the conversations went, my son could never be a drug addict. Like, I'll disown my son if I'm a crackhead, if he's a crackhead. And I'm looking at this brother like, my nigga, you sell crack. Your son is going to be a crackhead because you sell crack. And a lot of sisters, they don't like that reality, but this is the reality, right? Now, we understand that a lot of devils, they set up where we live a certain way, so we'll fall victims to their traps and snares, right? Selling drugs or using Caribbean ports is a trap for the Benjamites, right? Because as you can see, Abaduan said it earlier, they build all-inclusive hotels on the beaches that they steal from Caribbean people. Meaning, all the food is served in the hotel, meaning the people in the hotel don't have to leave the hotel to walk down the street to check out the brother who has a cart or a stall or who's selling food outside of his hotel. Right? So now, when that happens and there's tons of drugs coming in, they're going to need someone to watch these drug ports. Well, the brother who doesn't get to sell food, he's going to go to those drug ports and he's going to watch over those drugs and sell those drugs. He's going to sell it to his people. It's just, that's how it works. And that's what the oppressor wants. The oppressor wants us to be his slaves. He wants us to be his drug dealers. And he wants our sisters to be his prostitutes. Right? Okay, if y'all want to add anything, y'all go ahead. You already know.
So like, just to add to what I said earlier, you know what I mean, with that brother who said, you know what I mean, if his son, you know what I mean, become a drug dealer, he would have disowned him. Meanwhile, turning other people's sons in not drug dealer, drug addict, a crackhead.
Right.
See? Meanwhile, he might turn other people's children into crackheads.
Right.
And that is why drug dealing, our people being drug dealers are so evil. You understand? I mean, we produce the drug dealers as if, you know what I mean, they are good role models. And we look down upon the crackheads. You understand? When, if it wasn't for the drug dealers, first and foremost, if it wasn't for the ultimate drug dealer, the oppressor, nobody would be a crackhead.
Damn right. Yeah, brother.
But if it wasn't for our people now, you know what I mean, doing the oppressor's bidding and selling drugs to them own people, you know what I mean, these same drug dealers, which we like to glorify, there wouldn't be any crackheads. You understand? So you can't glorify one and look down upon the next. And you being a drug dealer, saying that you don't want your, you know what I mean, your son to be a crackhead. Brother, you are the problem. You are the problem. You understand? You are the reason, like where Zabadia say, Officer Zabadia say, your son is going to be a crackhead because that is justice for another person's son. You understand? And another broader justice is this. Right now, you're seeing the oppressor who controls the drug market. See? You're seeing is people getting hooked and fentanyl and all them things there because that is what? That is justice. You understand? For turning people into crackheads back in the 80s. You understand? Arresting, locking up our people for having a problem because that is when him call film people who hooked and fentanyl, you know. Them have a problem, them need medical assistance. You understand? Meanwhile, in the 80s and in the 90s, them throw our people into prison. So now the most I make film children them know. You understand? Hooked on fentanyl and heroin. And that is justice. You understand? So like, yeah.
It's definitely a form of justice. Listen, the oppressor has a word that they love to use, right? They like to use it for everything. That word is karma, right? It's basically the oppressor getting exactly just like my brother Kayadwan said. The oppressor is getting exactly what he did to us. He's getting it back, right? And it keeps happening. And now it's a pandemic. When it was us, it was say no to drugs. It's like how do you just say no to drugs when these people using drugs? They're not using drugs because they just woke up one day and said, "I want to get high." No, you oppressors, you Caucasians, caused our people so much pain. They don't even know how to deal with the pain. So they just said, "Forget it. I'm just gonna get high and forget about it for a couple hours."
God.
And that's what's happening. But when it's their children, it's say no to drugs. Barack, you had something else, or we can go into this article a little more. Let's get into.
I just want to say, they reap what they sowed.
Right.
Let's get into the article.
All right, you can read some of this article. Salaki,
before you go on, before you go on, if I may, to add to what you were saying, when we said to the oppressor that, you're going into slavery one day, they better believe it. You see how farmers come around and them and their children with drugs. Yeah. So we telling you, you're going into slavery one day. And it's just a matter of time that cycle is coming around too. So and I think many of them know it, but that it is their nightmare. And they are trying that's why they're going out in outer space. Hopefully they can hide from Christ's face and not going into slavery. But those who go into hiding, those are the ones who will be going into slavery.
Right.
All right. That's my case.
Well, I remember, listen, those oppressors can run to space if they want. But I remember a Challenger. This was the name of the shuttle was the Challenger. And the Most High is a champion. And that Challenger fell to the earth and burned up in the atmosphere. They could try to hide in space if they want, but the angels are going to put quick work. Christ is going to command the angels to put quick work on them. Right.
So lucky to add to that point as well, where I don't know if I the same thing you talk about, but where the SpaceX, you know what I mean? The SpaceX rocket that exploded, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I most tied to them thing there, because the pride of the oppressor thinking that he might have commercial, you know what I mean? Space travel. You understand? So the most tied just make that happen. You understand? Yeah, man. So lucky, sir. Yo, I was hoping that shuttle had a couple devils in it, But unfortunately, it was unmanned. One of them things that maybe next time. And you know what I mean? I hope one day to catch one of those, you know what I mean? Shuttle launches live, you know what I mean? And with about 4 or 6 devils, you know what I mean? And right as it about to crack, you know what I mean? What them call it now? What them call that layer that them have to crack to reach in space?
The ozone.
the stratosphere.
Ozone layers.
The stratosphere, see? Right as a boat, them supposed to crack that stratosphere. It just explode and kill all of those flipping devils. I mean, I hope to catch
So like a confession's good for the soul. That is why I watch. That's why I watch them launches. Salakia.
Salakia.
Exact reason.
Go ahead.
Before I get into the article, I just want to say this. That's what Kayawan is praying for. I'm praying for the window to crack and all the air to come out. Salakia.
God.
I want to be entertained.
Right, Brock,
I just don't want to see no regular explosion.
All right. Brock, let's get into this article.
Khan, it says, Martinique is not the only Caribbean country to suffer from the deleterious and deadly effects of international drug and arms trafficking. Invited to Port of Spain, Serge Letchimy was able to hear several heads of government in the region suggest solutions to break the spiral of violence that plagues our societies. And for those who don't know, Serge Letchimy is the current president of Martinique. You understand? Even though we're still governed by France in the first place. I keep reading. The president of the Executive Council of CPM.
Right, so let's read some more. Understand that the Caribbean islands. Salakia?
No, I said Kamal Khan one.
Yeah, you can read some more. I was just as you're getting ready, I was just gonna say, like, these are the plagues that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans go through, right? You can keep reading some more as we read, because as I was going through this article, it sounds like the groups of leaders in the Caribbean, they're coming together to try and stop their homes or the lands that they're in control of from drugs coming in, drugs and guns. And listen, Brock, I remember not too long ago, you were showing me a video about Martinique and their brothers, and they all had a bunch of guns. And it's like, listen, where are they getting these AKs from? You know, Kayadwan, I remember damn near every reggae song had some reference about a tall thing or the tall up, right? And it's where's the tall up coming from? They don't make tall ups or the tall thing in Jamaica. They don't make them in Martinique, in Guadeloupe. So where are they coming from? And this article is about to explain everything. Listen, our oppression, our death, our murder, everything Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans go through is by design, by an evil oppressor, by the devil the Bible speaks of. They need us to kill each other so we can fill jails. Right?
So
remember that the Prime Minister. Carl.
So, go ahead, sir.
No, got it. You got it.
So, I was just saying, you know what I mean? Even the video that I posted of, you know what I mean, the robbery that took place in St. Thomas, rob that brings Chuck, Beryllium is the name of the company. See? The security guards, you know what I mean, guarding the money had to flee. Why? Because the firepower that the robbers had was not, their firepower was not, you know what I mean, anything near what the robbers had. So they have to run. One of them fling with all his shotgun.
I see that the man dashed with a whole gun. That was not a one pop those robbers had.
Gun, you understand? And all these guns are come from where? They come from America. You understand? Then them gun are coming a barrel from America. You tell me, say, America can't put a stop to that. America don't know who is shipping what to where inside of them country. Meanwhile, America know where you say over your phone and you know what I mean? They tap your devices and all of them things there. Them have satellites all over the place. You know what I mean? Salakia, go ahead, sir.
They can find Bin Laden in the most remote cave in somewhere in the most remote desert in Afghanistan, but they don't know that they can find the source of all the drugs and weapons coming in and out of America and the Caribbean. How does that even make sense now?
If I can no, Salakia, Kaya, you were gonna say something?
Just shortly, just to say, maybe they are behind it. Salakia. You know what I mean? Maybe they are the ones pushing it.
I was gonna say, like, It's 2023. You would think. Listen, they've had technology to take man to the moon. Apparently, right? Some sisters helped the oppressor get to the moon. In 2023, in 2018, you're telling me the ports of the Caribbean islands didn't have machines that could X-ray the containers to figure out what's coming in and out of these containers, right?
So,
Khan.
Here in Jamaica, you know what I mean? If a barrel is sent to Jamaica, they unload the barrel just to make sure they are charging you for every single item that is in the barrel. You understand? So I don't see how it make it through the ports over there or even here.
Right.
Good night.
Good. Yeah, that's definitely crucial. Right. So when you say they're charging you for every single item in the barrel, so you're telling me they're opening up people. I'm sending you a barrel. They're gonna open up the barrel to see what's in the barrel to make sure they charge me the right price. Or are you paying the charge when you go pick up the barrel?
You pay a fee, but you know what I mean? Right in front of you when you go and collect the barrel, they will empty out the barrel in front of you, you know what I mean, and repack it.
Good night. Just so they can try to make a little more money. Right?
Yeah, you have the corruption part of it as well. You understand? But me say that just to say, them know what is coming into the island.
Right.
And so there's no excuses. And we know a similar thing over there in the US. You understand?
Right.
If it's not the X-ray machine or something that can detect what is in these packages, see, somebody will be investigated. The metal detector, something will you know what I mean, pick up on what is in the barrel. Not to mention all the other hidden technologies that them have. You understand? So what is the excuse for them to not, we can't prevent this? It must be because they are the ones behind it. Slack here.
Well, Kayadwan, I'm gonna put you onto some game, right? And you're definitely right. They are definitely behind it. I did some time when I was in the world, right? What we were finding out in the South Detention Center in Toronto, right? This is the new jail they just built. It has 4 towers and I believe maybe 15 floors, 20 floors per tower. And it's a jail, right?
God.
The guards or the COs who are working there were taking a scandal bag and filling it up. Like, you know, the black scandal bag?
Gone, sir.
Right? They're filling up that black scandal bag with whatever you could put inside of it. And they'll bring it into the jail for you for $10,000 Canadian. So if they're doing that in the jail, who's doing that on the ports?
Right.
Right.
God.
That's what's happening. They know exactly, just like you said, they know exactly what's going on. Someone's getting a kickback.
God.
Right. Barack, you still with us?
I'm gonna keep reading the article.
Some more of this article.
I might skip one, two paragraphs for time's sake.
Yeah, you take us to the meat of the article.
One moment, I have to reload the page. Good night. One moment, I want. So it reads: the president of the. Good night, Salakia. The one. This article is just. Let me try to open on my other phone.
Khan, what paragraph are you at?
It says the president of CTM or something like that.
Okay, so the president of the executive council of the CTM told them last year the 12 tons of cocaine were seized in Martinique, market value of 360 million euros. However, only 1/10 of the drugs passing through our soil is intercepted. The global market being estimated at between 3 and 5 billion euros. Right now, listen, if they found 360 million euros worth of cocaine, they found that on purpose. That's to make things look good. Like it's like the corrupt cop will let you slide, right, with your drug packages. He says, listen, on one of your routes, one of your men have to get arrested, so send someone that you don't like.
Salakia, if I may.
God.
You understand? Like, Martinique, Guadeloupe, and French Guyana. Since we're French citizens, it's easy for us to just go back and forth between the French territory, right? We bring in more than 55% of all the cocaine in France only. I'm not even talking about the ones that we make in Spain, Portugal, whatsoever. It's more than 55% of the cocaine in France comes from Martinique, Guadeloupe, and French Guyana. I don't know.
Good night. Well, listen, we're gonna drop what you just read right quick, right? Because that's for Martin. That's for France. Now, I want to read another article, right? And Thawada Baraka Allah for these articles because these are definitely good articles, right? And if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you should definitely read them. Before the end of this pod, we're going to put the articles, or actually, when double back to this pod if you're watching it and check the description, and you're going to see the links for the articles in the description. It'll take me about a little bit to do it, but I'm going to put them in the description of the pod, right? So this is another article. The Caribbean is the first market for illegal trafficking of weapons made in the United States, right? So on one hand, you have cocaine and drugs going into the Caribbean ports and then shipped to the United States, right? And shipped to France and shipped to Canada and shipped to Europe. And on the other hand, America, for the drugs that they're receiving, they're sending back guns. They're sending back firearms. Again, the question was asked earlier, where are all the tall things coming from? Where do all the tall ups and Brinks robbery truck guns come from in the islands, right? This article is going to explain it. In the Caribbean, firearms.
I have the article open if you want me to read it.
Okay, no sweat.
So it reads, the firearms manufactured in the U.S. are exported illegally to the Caribbean, where the authorities are overwhelmed by violence. Mexico, supported by several countries in the region, filed a complaint against American arms manufacturers. In the United States, elected officials are calling for the adoption of a strategy to stop this illegal flow of firearms, which is destabilizing the entire Caribbean basin. And
all right. So again, you're seeing it's a circle of illegal activities. Cocaine into the States, guns into the Caribbean. You got to send guns into the Caribbean because who's going to protect the 360 million euros worth of cocaine? Right? Someone needs to protect it. You can't protect 360 million euros of cocaine with a homemade one pop shotgun. You can't do it. It's not going to work. So someone needs to have an AK-47, and this is what the U.S. is doing. They're sending high-powered guns into these Caribbeans. On one hand, they're protecting their cocaine. On the other hand, listen, it's like it's the killing of Black folks, and that's something the oppressor always likes. The oppressor likes to watch us sing and rap about killing each other. He wants to see it on camera. There's a thing that they basically call it death porn, right? Where people will watch people die, right? Basically, they'll have videos on YouTube where it shows a man shooting someone. The news will put this video up under the premise of, we need help to find the suspect in this video. Honestly, I just don't believe that to be true, right? I believe these oppressors videos up so they can continue to watch them over and over again. You see a black man gun down another black man, and it's on YouTube. You just pull it back up and watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it. Then they teach their kids to watch it. And look, Johnny, they're animals. They're killing each other.
Right.
So, Barack, if you could read this first paragraph in this article, and then we'll talk about it a little. Picture. They got a table full of guns.
In the Caribbean, firearms mostly made in the United States are the cause of 70% of homicides. The region grappling with an episode of unprecedented violence. In Salakia, if I may.
Basically, every out of 100 homicides that are used, out of 100 firearm homicides in the Caribbean, 70 of them, the firearms come from the United States. So that leaves another 30% of maybe it's not happening. Maybe the guns are coming from somewhere else. They could be coming from Russia, right? Barack, you said something. You wanted to say something?
Real quick, you see that picture we have in the article with a table full of guns. I had sent you a couple of months ago another article about Martinique, right, where the community is giving up their guns. You understand, to the what we call the gendarmerie, which is like the police department, right? But all the guns they gave up is like old rusted guns from the 80s, the 70s. They did not give up the guns that they're actually killing each other with. They did not give up no Uzi. They did not give up no AR-15s. They did not give up no Glock 40s. They give up they give up their grandfather's gun. You understand? All those rusted pistols or those hunting shotguns, that's what they gave up. But the real, like the actual firearm that they were killing each other with, it's still in the house. It's in the living room right now.
Right.
It's on the front porch. You understand? So that picture, I mean, even when they're seizing the guns, they're not doing anything because first of all, we already know, like, just like in Jamaica, you understand, in Haiti, or throughout the Caribbean and South in Latino America, right? The police departments are corrupted. Like they have a role in this game. You understand that they're playing, right? It's like even though they're seizing a couple of guns, these guns are going to be put back on the street just like they do over here in Canada and in the U.S. You understand?
That's like the drugs in Canada that just walk out of the evidence room.
Like some of these guns on the table, in probably by the next, over the next week, after they seize the guns, close to half of them are going to be missing.
Right.
It's a lot, the other one.
Right. Now that's definitely heavy. It's a thing that happens all the time, right? These police are corrupt because the governments that fund these police are corrupt, right? So what happens is they're going to take the guns, they're going to take those same guns, and then someone's going to take one and go sell it. And then he's going to tell his friend, or she's going to tell her friend. And by the time you spin around, the whole department or the whole station, division, precinct, whatever you call it, right, is in that evidence locker. Everyone's walking out with a gun to go sell it back to the community just so they can go get it again, right? But Barack, could you, if anybody doesn't have anything they want to add, I'm going to have Barack keep reading.
So look, yes, sir. I have a precept for the same time. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Police them corrupt because the oppressor corrupt. You understand? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 10:2, and it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. You understand? And that is why the people, the police, them corrupt, because guess what? Who judge the earth right now? The oppressor. You understand? Who for system? We are on the right now, the oppressor system. You understand? And it's corrupt. See? Whole heap of drugs have to come through the Caribbean. Why? Because the oppressor need drugs. You understand? The $360 million are the 12 ton of cocaine, which is just a fraction of the real amount. See? It all go to the oppressor. He's the market, him corrupt. So guess what? Everything down the line corrupt. Even the police officers do them put in where is not our police officer them, you know. See, in Jamaica police is not Jamaicans police, you know. See? Them corrupt too. Because them boss corrupt. You understand? So look, let me continue. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And that is why we have a corrupt society, because we have the devil, the Bible speak of, rule the earth. You understand?
Damn right.
So be a corruption all about. You understand? So look here.
Listen, I got something that I'm going to add to exactly what you just said, Officer Kayagwan, because you hit it right on the head of the nail with the corrupt police. Now, Barack, if you could keep reading this article.
Salaki.
Come, you want to add something?
Right, before you move on. you know,
God, no.
regarding what you were talking about with guns and thing in becoming in the West, especially in the Caribbean. Now look at this. How are we going to? This is a gun shop, one little gun shop in America, right?
Right.
And now this you walk into and this is not I mean, when you're going on a plane, you have a checkpoint going on the plane. You go through what they call security. There is
Right.
no there is no security. You go and walk into a gun shop, there is no checks, search or anything on a person.
God.
Person can just walk into a gun shop and buy a gun, right? And this
Right.
is how the guns keep coming into the Caribbean. You buy one gun here or two gun here, you buy some there, and these are commonplace thing in America. How are we in the Caribbean going to? How can we go against fight against these
Right.
without the help of either America or some other bigger country
Right.
providing some kind of assistance? It's almost impossible for us to get these guns under control when, I mean, you can't just walk into the gun shop and buy a gun.
Right.
Buy more than one, two. And I mean, if you go in place like Texas, it's even worse.
Salakia Badawan, if I may, there are gun companies in America that they make over. Listen, I'm just gonna say over 200 guns a day, and that's nowhere near the number. Right? There's enough guns in America for everybody to have 1,000 guns. And when you put that into perspective, the gun violence is not going to end in our homes until we find brotherhood. And the only place we're finding that brotherhood is in the ISUPK under Commander General YAHANNA. If anybody in the Caribbean island wants to figure out how to end gun violence and how to end the hate, they have to find Officer Abadawan and Officer Kayadwan. Right? That's the only way it's going to happen. Aside from that, America makes guns by the thousands, man. They have places in America where you could go into the gun shop and just give them cash, give them a fake ID. They're not running the ID; they're just taking the cash. You walk out, you load the gun up, you put it on your waistband, and you're gone forever. And now that gun is sold to somebody on a reservation or sold to somebody in the LGBTQ community, and they're going to unalive a bunch of children in a school.
Right. Also, you can buy gun parts on Amazon.
Right.
Gun.
Good night.
And you can buy a PDF to print a gun.
Gun.
To print
Right.
Yeah. God.
Right? So many things. But if we could, right? Because Kayadwan said something earlier, and I wanted to read a part of the article that backs up absolutely what he said, right? About the corruption, the police, and where are these guns coming from? Why are guns that have been supposed to be off the streets back on the streets, right? And that happens in every major city. So, Barakian, if you can keep reading.
Oh God. In Haiti, the weapons used by the gangs come from the United States. They're smuggled out of
America. That's where these guns are coming from. If you're wondering where the guns in your that's terrorizing your neighborhood, they're coming straight from America. Salakia, bro.
Right. Khan. They're smuggled out of Florida or stolen from law enforcement armories.
My nigga Barack, he knew how to read that part and emphasize where they're stealing them from.
Good.
And it's just like you said, Kayadwan. It's coming from law enforcement, right? They're being stolen from the corrupt police.
Salakia, right? I don't want.
God.
If I may, because I'm in touch with some people over there in Martinique whatsoever. Yes, that even my own cousin told me, like, a lot of these guns that we have, you understand? Because obviously, like, we don't have any firearms manufacturers in the Caribbean. But somehow we end up with like AR-15s, Rugers, Glocks, 19, whatever the case is. And so my own cousin told me, yeah, those guns is like, listen, they come out of law enforcement armories. You understand? And even then, like it's not like we have okay, I'm not gonna speak for all islands, but for Martinique especially, we don't have multiple law enforcement armories like that. But somehow there is more AR-15s in the street than in the law enforcement armories. You understand? So
Good.
somehow, if it's not only from law enforcement armories, they still coming in and out. They still coming on the island somehow. You understand? And we know that a lot of because we have a good like Asherite community on the island. You understand? Venezuelans, Colombians, and we know some of them bring in the drugs, some of them bring in the guns. But even then, when they bring in the guns, those guns were not made in Venezuela. And we already know how the cartel in South America get their guns. Whether it's from America, whether it's from the merchant of death, Victor Bout, that they just freed and gave back to Russia, we're being armed by the oppressor. You understand? So it's like, okay, the ISUPK, like we don't speculate. We always check our facts, and we don't speculate on nothing. You understand? We're not conspiracy theorists either. But we know, like, besides America, like Victor Bout himself said he was arming the cartels in South America. And those same people, when they come into Trinidad, St. Lucia, Dominica, Martinique, whatsoever, they're bringing the guns with them. They don't just bring in the drugs. So we know, like, besides the law enforcement armories, either we steal, either they're stolen from the armories, either the police itself takes from the evidence room and the armories and they put it back in the streets. And then they want to complain about the gun violence, but you know they take part in the gun violence, not just by shooting us down in the streets like we're rabid dogs, but by putting the firearms in our hands. That's how they contribute as well to the gun violence side of Slovakia.
Right.
And Salakia, if I may, you know what I mean? It wasn't long ago, you know. It was the politicians, you know what I mean? And some might argue that they are still doing it. See? It wasn't long ago when it was the JLP and the PMP who was issuing out guns, you know what I mean, to the poor ghetto youth them in Jamaica. You understand? So knowing that police are do that too, it don't seem so far-fetched to add to Barakia Allah's point. You understand? You know what I mean? More likely them are do it. You see? And seeing who them work for, who these, you know what I mean? These entities that govern over us work for. You know what I mean? The oppressor. It's not too far-fetched because me say once upon a time it was our very politicians them who are giddy gun them to the youth them for fight them political and gang warfare. And who was it? It was America and Russia. You understand? Right. Another thing as well. Our people tend to think that Russia will become this saving grace or alternative, you know what I mean, to America. Rest assured, right. Russia is Edom, same way. Russia is Esau. You know what I mean? Of course, Russia don't have a history in enslavement, but rest assured, you know what I mean? I see the devil is the devil. You understand? So don't think that Russia will come and save us. You understand? Russia is just one oppressor fighting against another oppressor. And once upon a time, they were arming, they were behind the you know what I mean, the supporting of political gang warfare in Jamaica. Russia, both Russia and America. Slovakia.
Right.
I mean, hey, Slovakia, just to add on what you just said, a lot of these AK-47s, like, the Kalashnikovs that they call it, you understand? Those are Russian guns.
Gone.
You understand? Like, because we say America because, that's where they're being shipped from, most of them. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of Russian guns. We have some Italian guns, you understand? The Berettas. We have German guns, the Rugers, you understand? So they're majority comes from America, but, it's just a devil in general supplying us the firearms.
Gone.
Slovakia.
Right. No, that's definitely heavy. The oppressor's always been supplying blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans with death. Right. Since they come off that ship, it's been supplying us with death. Whether it be Christianity, which is death, right? Christianity is the reason why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are even at the polls voting. Like why people in the Caribbean islands are. Listen, I remember stories. This has to be in the 2000s, before my mom gave up the ghost, right? Where she told me about she went to go visit in Jamaica and she didn't realize at what time, right? Or maybe I had that part mixed up, but either way, she went to go visit Jamaica. It was election time. The election was so bad, right? And the violence because of the election was so bad that there was a time when there were so many shots in the neighborhood where she and the family, her and her cousin, had to go jump into a freezer that was in the backyard, like an old freezer. It wasn't working, so it was just back there. Had to knock it down and go crawl up in it, and both of them are crawled up in it because of the election violence, right? And black people, we think because of Christianity, we have to vote. But we don't have to vote. We're voting in heathens over us that don't give a damn. And you're wondering where the drugs and guns are coming in from. It's the heathens. The biggest drug dealers on the earth are heathens. If it's not the Arab, it's the oppressor, the devil himself, the so-called Caucasian man. You might call him Bill Clinton. Salaki.
Salaki. That election violence you speak of, that sound like 80s election.
God.
1980 election. When the CIA and the KGB was face off in Jamaica outright on the streets.
Right.
Guns were barking. One was pushing terrorist tactics, and one was pushing counter-terrorist tactics. But, who was in the middle? The Israelites was in the middle. You get caught up in between, and we got caught up in the crossfire, and we were also doing the firing, right? Because during these gun violence, there was no Indian, there was no Chinese, there was no Arab, there was no white man, just the children of Israel.
Gone.
And then they're going to tell me, Salaki, and then they're going to tell me out of many one people.
Right.
And yet, when you go in the bank now, it's another thing. The Chinese and the other one, except the children of Israel, is there. When you look on the streets and the violence, the children of Israel, except the other people, is there. So that shows you who is destroying us, That goes to show you who is destroying the children of Israel. And it's not
about that leads. Right. So I think Barack dropped out for a second. Can y'all hear me?
Gone, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, Barack.
Okay, so this is going to lead us into our next. Okay, Barack should be back. This is going to Abaduan. You see what you just said, right? It's going to lead us into our next part of the show, right? This is the last segment where we're going to usually in this show. I try to get at least one clip after the news stories that we can react to, right? Now, Abaduan, you said something heavy about ownership, right? And this video that I'm going to play is about ownership. And after this video, my only question is, why isn't there a stop Asian hate of Black and Hispanic people? Again, why isn't there a stop Asian hate of Black and Hispanic people bill? Right? And this, listen, it's coming right out of the bat's mouth. That's how I'm going to say it. What you're about to hear is coming right out of the bat's mouth. All right, so I'm going to play it. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear it properly.
Gone. Loud and clear, sir.
from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because Asian Americans operating in their neighborhoods and didn't want Asian Americans profiting off of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in black communities. Black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities. As a result,
Salakia, is it pause? Because I not hear nothing now.
Like it freeze.
Oh, it freeze.
Salakia, I think Officer Zabaja is having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
But if I could give a breakdown, basically, because I seen the video, I'm about to make a TikTok of that. Captain Azania sent it to me. She's basically saying it was not authorized for any Chinese to open businesses in white neighborhoods. You understand? And they were only given loans to open businesses in black neighborhoods because, you know, the role of the Chinese is to oppress black people. You understand? Take black money, and not take white money. Let's not profit off the money of the devils, but we're going to profit off of the money of the Israelites. That's basically what she's saying. You understand? Salakia, 1 second. We have Officer Hazahab. Salam alaikum Yabashim Shabrakatah.
Yeah, such for being late.
Hey,
but
Shalom, so Yabashim Shabrakatah.
You're man. Water for the invite.
No sweat, sir. No sweat, sir. I was playing a video. I'm going to try to play it again. If y'all can bear with me a second. I'm going to try and play this video one more time, and then we'll be able to go in on it. Salakia, bear with me one moment.
And Salakia, if I may.
God, y'all got it until I can get this video running.
Real quick, because I just broke down to Officer Badawan, Officer Kayadwan, what that bat eater was talking about. You know, because I seen the clip already. Captain Azania sent it to me. So I just broke it down while you were glitching, Adawan.
God, no sweat. All right, so I'm going to play it one more time so everyone can hear it.
line from opening businesses in white neighborhoods because white people, Asian Americans, of white people. But because the positionality of Asian Americans is weaponized to oppress black people, Asian Americans were being given loans to open businesses in black communities, even though black people were not able to receive loans to open businesses in their own communities.
Hold up.
And as I've said before,
Oh, Salakia. Oh my goodness.
Result.
Pause the video. Okay, pause the video.
Pay for services, and again, when the Asian American business owner, because usually,
right.
Hey, Salakia. You're letting the video run on too long, man. There's a whole lot of meat in there. There's a whole lot of meat in what you said right there, man. You know what I mean? Who on the control? Burke, y'all, you on the control?
Nah, the one. That's Officer Zabaja. Zabaja is gone. Okay, so like I'm gonna put the link right now in the chat. Because since I'm streaming from my phone, I cannot actually. Salaki Kayadwan, are you on the laptop right now?
Can, sir, but I don't see the hold on.
I'm gonna send you the link of the video so you can replay it. Just now.
Yeah, man.
If I may, in
the private chat. Put it in the private chat, sir.
I sent it to you on Messenger.
Post it in the. Can you post it in the private chat? That would be easier for me to access.
Can also give me 1 second.
Yeah, man.
So like one as a hub.
Yeah, Bubble Shot. Barack, I don't know if you can give me this. Yeah, y'all been reading the Psalms 38, Psalms 83.
We didn't go through it yet.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get that for me, Bubble Shot, man. Because what she said was what we always say. She said it, and she said the thing that nobody ever says, that the UPK has always been saying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Commander YAHANNA always says. You know what I mean? Also, we need the one where it says they make merchandise off of us.
Khan, give me 1 second. I got it out of one. I'm just gonna post the link for Kayad one in the chat right now.
For sure. But take your time, all right? The body, you running things, all right?
What kind, sir?
So anyway you want to go, all right?
Sir. I got the Psalms 83 if you wanted to.
We
could go into Psalms 83 if you want to.
Babu Shaw, if you can, all right?
I'll read for you. Khan, this is Psalms 83. Salakia. Is there a specific verse you want me to start, or you want me to start at the top?
Give me the part where it says they are confederate against thee, and then play the video again.
Khan, I'm gonna set up this video. I'm gonna read it. Salakia. This is Psalms 83, verse. I'm gonna start from 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may.
That part where it says the hidden ones. I know the feet is a little choppy. You know what I mean? Our names have been hidden. You know what I mean? We don't before the UPK, we don't even know who we are. We are the actual people in the earth that has had a hidden identity. You know what I mean? We call ourselves Africans when Africa ain't no identity.
Right.
You see the Nigerian, Ghanaian, Ethiopian, and then even now, with all of the Benjamites, they said 90% of Benjamites don't even come from Jamaica, or don't even come from Africa.
Good night.
All African ships went to South America.
Good night.
You know what I mean? What they're saying is that Oliver Cromwell sent all his slaves to Jamaica. You know what I mean? Left them with the same Irish and Scottish last names. You know what I mean? So keep reading there again. They have lifted up their head.
Salakia. 1. Have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Against thy hidden ones.
Carried one. If you can get Ezekiel 26:7 from me, Bogusha, right?
Carry one cancer.
You know what I mean? They consulted against the hidden ones, and they what? Keep reading.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let us cut them off from being a race. Nation means race in the Bible. We know that. You know what I mean? So now we can't love black people. One section of us have to love Chinese. One section of us have to love Jewish people. One section of us have to be Muslim. We have to love Arabs. One section of us have to love Ghana and love Nigeria. And one section of us have to love anime and want to go to Japan.
God.
And buy Pokemon. And buy everything Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. You know what I mean? Yeah, keep reading.
Keep reading. that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Verse
and now
5.
for us,
For
now
they have
for us, we don't.
consulted
We don't. Oh, Slaki. There might be a delay in the body, all right? There might be a slight delay. Let me know if I'm ever over talking anybody, all right?
Come,
Can
you two out for now.
Can read the part there again. I missed it. Slaki. That last verse right there.
This is the latter end of verse 4. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That the name of Israel, that the Israelites might be no more remembrance. Don't make them strong. Don't give them resources to go find out who they are. Keep them stuck in the ghetto. Put them on crack.
Right.
People on crack don't research being Israelites. People on crack don't go like Commander YAHANNA went to Israel, actually. He went to Israel and Egypt and all that, right? Make sure that they don't have the money to go back to see no hieroglyph of niggas on no bricks in Egypt. Right? Slug for my language, all right? Keep reading.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent.
Mm-hmm. They consulted together with one consent. All these races of people and their government coming to a United Nations, right? Under what? Under one authority. And then they go to name them. Keep reading.
They are confederate against thee.
They are joined together against the Israelites. That's why they're here. They're joined together against the Israelites. Also, you know we need with the Chinese bro right here. You need the one. You need. Out of Barack Yalla can go get the article, right? There's an article that says the majority of France's GDP is off of selling goods to Latino people in America also, right? That goes with this too. Meaning what? France, and they got Macron on the TV and Macron talking with Russia and all that. He only got all that power with their financial power based on getting money out of Latinos, the same way how Chinese people have been getting money out of Black and Latino people with these chicken shops out here. So just put in a search on Google. You put in France, GDP, Latino. GDP means gross domestic product. All right? Keep reading now, somebody.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles
and the
of
Israelites.
Edom. The chief houses of the Caucasian man. And the Ishmaelites, meaning all the Arabs. So all of NATO. That's the chief houses of the Edomites. Now, that's the tabernacles of Edom.
Right.
And all of the Arabs. Keep going.
Of Moab.
And here was Moab. And here was Moab. This one right here was Moab.
God.
And Moab just said, since the Chinese came here, right? Whatever deal they made between America, the deal was that they get to sell chicken to Black people. And you don't sell chicken to Black people. You don't sell fried chicken to Black people. They sell chicken to Black people. Now and fried chicken wings ain't no ethnic Chinese dish.
Right.
You don't go to China and they selling fried chicken out there. That's not they might sell some fried dog.
Yeah.
They're gonna rat. Yeah, they're gonna give you jerk rats and jerk cats. You know what I mean? They're gonna give you what they call it shark fin soup. You know what I mean? Or they're gonna give you dolphin soup. You know what I mean? But fried chicken is not their thing. Fried chicken is black. It's so black it's in the Bible. You know what I mean? Fried chicken is so black it's in the Bible. You know what I mean? And you said the Hagarenes too. Just so we know, the Hagarenes is the chief tribe of the Arabs, coming from Hagar. All right. Okay. Card one. I don't know if you want to get the Ezekiel 26 and 7 from
Gunner one cancer.
right quick, and then I'm gonna let someone else speak afterwards. All right.
Officer Zabadia, I can put that on the screen, Baba Koshar. Gunner one can. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 26 and 7. For thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will bring upon Tyrus Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, a king of kings from the north, with horses and with chariots and with horsemen and companies and much people.
Of course, but we sin against the Lord, the Most High sent some heathen from some other land to come and enslave us. All right, which is what is breaking down right here. Okay, skip me down to verse 12.
Gunner one can. Verse 12. And they shall make a spoil of thy riches.
And they make a spoil of thy riches. Of course, black people in America, we make altogether, we make a whole lot of money. Go ask the Christian church. They got $420 billion out of black people for the past 20 years. And that's billion with a B.
Right.
$420 billion came out of all, and that's only for black people. That's not Latinos. All right. The Christian church got $420 billion out of black people. Where's the other billions going? Into fried chicken made by these Chinese people. The fried chicken and the chow mein.
Right.
And your remote. And your remote for your TVs. And your accessories for your phones. All made in China. You see what I'm saying? Sold to you. Right? Keep reading.
Gunner one can. And make a prey of thy merchandise.
And they make a prey of thy merchandise. Meaning what? The prey, they are the hunter.
Right.
And you're the prey. So everything that you got going on, they're trying to take that. Fried chicken was your merchandise. It was the thing that you would sell to your own. You know what I mean? You don't sell fried chicken no more. You don't sell French fries no more.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You can't even sell chopped up potatoes. They selling it for you. You know what I mean? You don't even eat your own black food anymore. You take your $5 and you bring it to the Chinese man to feed you. You see what I'm saying? They make prey of your merchandise. Keep reading.
Gunner one can. And they shall break down thy walls.
They shall break down thy walls. Why? Because your walls is weak. That's what Jeremiah said. Judah is black upon the ground. His gates thereof languish. We got no gates to keep these Moabites out.
Right.
You know what I mean? The UPK is about the first wall ever. Since forever. To actually say you Moabites cannot come in here. You see what I'm saying? We build the wall back. You know what I mean? The Chinese now, Edom break down the walls and let the Chinese in to spoil us. Keep reading.
Gunner one can. And destroy the pleasant houses.
And destroy thy pleasant home. There's one time we will all come together.
Right.
And we will all, with our families, have a big Sunday dinner. And everybody will put in $5 on the table at the end of dinner. You know what I mean? Because we will eat together. And that $5 that we put together supports the woman that cooked.
Right.
You know what I mean? For hosting the families for dinner. Families with an S. I.E.S. on the end. But now, not with Chinese $5 dishes now. We go get some chicken fried rice. Or some pork fried rice. Okay? I'm done there, right?
Salakia.
Give me verse 13, Kyle. Salakia, right quick. Salakia, the body.
Gunner one can. And I will cause the noise of thy songs to cease.
Because of course, when you know what happens when you bring 10 families of niggas around.
God.
It's We Are Family and all these songs. We will come together. It will be a party every Sunday. You know what I mean? But of course, you know, when you read a couple verses up, they don't ravish our daughters. Our daughters can't even cook no more. You see what I'm saying? And now we're depending on this Chinese food now. And we doing this Chinese food alone. Him over there and him and she over there and all the kids over there. Your kids in foster care over there, and you over there. So we don't have no big loving black families at Sunday dinner no more. You know what I mean? We all in our own corner with this chicken fried rice and chow mein and dog this fried pepper dog soup, pepper dog and rice. You know what I mean? So our music is stopped. You know what I mean? And what keep reading?
Gun. And the sound of thy art shall be no more heard.
Yeah, the black neighbors are very quiet recently.
Right.
Black neighbors one time every weekend, no matter where you go. Black neighbor, USA, Canada. You know what I mean? You're gonna hear some dance hall somewhere.
God.
Oh, banging in the street. Nah, man. Oppressors shut that down. Neighbors, it's quiet. I'm saying, especially around here, I live in a straight up Benjamite neighborhood called Canarsie in Brooklyn. And it is quiet. It's quiet like white people live here. You know what I mean? Sometimes I gotta question the demographic of the people out here when there's nobody out here, when there's nobody else out on the street. You know what I mean? Because so it's not like how we usually are, all right? And with that, I quote unquote land my plane, all right?
It's like, I don't know if I may. I had an article talking about the U.S. It says the U.S. Latino GDP is tied with France, is greater than Italy, but it only mentioned France in the title, not actually in the article. I don't want.
Let me see if I can get it for you, all right?
Kind. And also, I have a quick question about that, right? Since the Caribbean islands are considered part of Latino America, would that be a reason why it is tied with France because of the French? I'm not sure how to say it in English, for lack of better words, French influence in the Caribbeans, because they still have Saint Martin, Saint Bart's, Guadeloupe, Martinique, and French Guyana. Would that be a reason, other one?
Say the question again.
So basically, the reason why the Latino GDP would be tied with France, is it because of the French presence in the Caribbean and in South America, since they still own like half of Saint Martin, Saint Bart's?
Okay. I'm not talking about that. That's true, but I'm not talking about that in specific, right? I put the link in the chat right here, right?
That's the article I had out of.
You already got that one?
That's what I have.
See, yeah. Read the first paragraph.
So the article is titled "Report: U.S. Latino GDP tied with France greater than Italy."
No, stop. It says U.S. Latino GDP, right? U.S. Latino GDP. Now, what this is saying is Latinos in the United States, right? As a race, as a nation, that same nation, those same hidden ones, that same one that they said, "What? Let us cut them off from being a people." This is them being cut off from being a people, cut them off from being a nation. All right. The Latino GDP means the Latino, the economy of the Latino people. Okay. Keep reading. Now, right quick. The economy of the Latino people is greater than Italy. Now, I know you're reading it. It says, "Oh, this is greater than Italy." Italy is an extremely powerful country in the earth. Italy is filthy, stinking rich.
Right.
You're talking about Gucci and Ferrari money. Gucci and Ferrari come from Italy, right? They're not some small country, right? But what they're saying is France gets more money than all of that great country called Italy, just from Latinos.
Good night.
All right, keep reading.
Good.
Right.
But if you want to put article up so people can see it, that's fine, all right? Whatever you want to do, all right? Zabadi, just take the lead, all right? Whenever you're ready, all right?
Okay.
The total economic output of U.S. Latinos reached 2.7 trillion in 2019.
That's trillion. That's trillion with a T. And for year, what year was that?
In 2019.
So that's 1 year alone. And you're gonna tell me, and then the Christian gonna come and tell me that the oppressor is not the devil that the Bible speaks of. You see what I'm saying? 2.7 trillion. Right. Now the church can't beat that. This don't kick nothing to no church. You know what I mean? 420 billion. Right. You know what I mean? The church is about 1/5, 1/6 of that.
So like
you know go ahead, Bracchiello.
Real quick, right? This is speaking of so-called U.S. Latinos only, right? It's not even mentioning the money that France is still getting from Haiti ever since their independence, because up till today, right, France is still taxing Haiti. Again, like I mentioned, they have their hands in half of St. Martin's pocket, St. Bart's, French Guyana, Martinique, and Guadeloupe. You understand? So that 2.7 trillion is only from the Latino community. So like the other one.
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, that's the kind of money they got to do. Go ahead, somebody. Go ahead. Yes, sure.
Sir. No, I was just gonna say, like it goes to show you that these heathens, they're making a bag off of our heads, right? Off of our oppression, they're making a bag, right? And one of the reasons why I brought this clip specifically is because in Toronto, Salakia, sir, one day when you make it to Toronto, right, I'm gonna take you on the Moabite hair tour. Basically, it's 1,000 different shops where sisters flood from Saturday till Saturday that Moabite owns. And what Moab does is they open the shop, right? They want black people to go into these shops, so they hire sisters. As these shops gain their popularity, slowly you start to see the number of sisters working in these shops dwindle. So you'll see a brand new shop open. They'll be playing R&B and reggae and rap in these shops, hiring sisters, have a black man as a security guard. It'll be 10 sisters. Within 7 months, the store is popular. It'll be maybe 6 sisters. And then you'll see 3 more Moabites working. And then you'll see 4 sisters and 2 more Moabites. And then you'll see 1 sister and everything in there is Moab. No sisters, all Moab still playing R&B and rap music, and the one brother working the door for security to stop what they think black women are stealing, when we know the number one thief in the earth is white people or Caucasians. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to bring it out. Salakia,
and them Chinese people. I seen it live. A Chinese group of people trying to steal handbags out of Macy's out here in Manhattan.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was there, I saw it. And they taking pictures of everything in there. They're in Macy's. The one by 34th Street, Manhattan. I might have been like 18, 19. And this time, this is 2000, 2000s. So, New York is on and kicking.
Right.
Yeah, man, more been there, going there, taking pictures of bags, turning around. And they was putting it into a recycling bag. It was so bait. It was so obvious. You know what I mean? But to them, the Chinese thought this was a wonderful idea. Meanwhile, they're gonna harass black people, and they're gonna harass Latino people.
Right.
You know what I mean? When those people are, they are the heart of thievery.
Right. And yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just on your point, sir. Can you imagine, with all the counterfeit items that come from China, see? and them paying blacks and Hispanics like, you know what I mean? We are the thieves. China is a country of thieves. You understand? China too stealing. You know what I mean? People's way call it. What them call it again? Copyright or what them call it again?
Yeah, copyright.
Right. Has grown them economy to, you know what I mean, world dominant status. It's a country made up of thievery. You understand? So that
Country made of thievery.
God.
That one, man. Yo, I don't know why the whole world ain't saying what you saying, man.
Right.
Maybe because for us, under command YAHANNA to just go out there and tell the world they call us thieves and they put us in the news all day.
Right.
When you have Chinatown in every single country selling fake Gucci bags.
Right.
Right. Fake iPhones.
Fake iPhones. You know what I mean? But we the thieves.
So like has a hot.
Yeah.
It seems like no one is saying that Moab or these Asians are thieves, right? Specifically China, right? The Chinese are thieves because everyone views the Moabites as model minorities, right? Which is something the generals and the captains brought out a while back, where these Moabites, they act like they're the smartest in the room, that they just act like they're the best, right? They're better than any other minority that comes to so-called minority that comes into Canada or America.
Right.
So it might play a part into why no one wants to call them out, because they don't see them as a threat, right? Well, now you got China with 17 trillion GDP, and they're trying to be the world power. They're trying to be the new boss of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was gonna try to play this tape one more time. Usually we go about 2 hours. We could probably go another 15-20 minutes if the men above me want to, right? And then I'm gonna play this tape one more time. I'm not gonna share it to the screen just because it's having my computer freeze. I think Moab has some type of technology out there. They don't want this truth coming out. Salakia. Right. So I'm going to play it from my phone and play it into my speaker, and hopefully.
Salakia,
God.
I put the link for the video in the private chat. If maybe Kayadwan if he could try to play from his laptop.
Okay, no sweat. That could work too.
One
right quick. How about that one? You didn't want to say nothing too, right?
No,
you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Salakia. Go ahead, other one.
On to what the body was saying. I wanted if someone could get Jeremiah 48 and 29.
I'll get it, other one.
Go ahead.
You said Jeremiah 48?
Yeah.
And what verse, other one? Salakia?
29.
Come on. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 48, verse 29. We have heard the pride of Moab.
We have heard the what?
We have heard the pride of Moab.
It's in the Bible that the Chinese people are proud. And they don't really got nothing to be proud of, because all of the ingenuity comes from Negroes. The only thing is Negroes are taught that we are no good. Your sons every day are being taught through cartoons and school that they are the same as everybody else. It's a lie. We're not the same as everybody else. We're better.
Right.
I think that's how you got the term race, because race is a competition, and we are the best race.
Right.
You know what I mean? Any invention. One reason why Japan can sell a car is because a Negro called George Washington Carver made a car in slavery. He made the combustion engine and the whole thing, the vehicle, in slavery as a slave. Yeah.
If I may, that you're giving a little too much right now. I would say, listen, Ottawa. It's like they want to call us stupid and whatever name they call us to say we're stupid. They could not even invent the doorknob or the dustpan or the broom. We
Right,
did
right,
that.
right,
The most simple things we did that they claim to be like some of the smartest people on the face of the earth. The Chinese cannot even invent the doorknob.
right.
Now there's a doorknob everywhere in China. It's a
I
lockout.
mean, we can go all day with that, man. You got James Edward Mason West, or the black man that invented the microphone. How they gonna have Silicon Valley without microphones to communicate?
Right.
You know what I mean? Jerry Lawson was a black man who created the technology that Atari took to make the video games. How you gonna play video games in China or Japan without a black man named Jerry Lawson?
God.
Henry T. Sampson made the cell phone. Henry T. Sampson was a black man in the United States that invented the cell phone. So how you gonna have a Silicon Valley without these Negroes' invention? Don't let me go to my list now. I took some notes over the years. I took some notes. Also, there's a pattern book. Yeah, I mean, also with this, you need Nahum 2 and 2. All right. Cairo, see if you can get me Nahum 2 and 2.
Gun one gun.
All right. We got it right here. Dr. Mark Dean was the architect for the PC computer. They took Dr. Mark Dean, he was a black man. They took his technology, and then they had technological breakthroughs through the company called IBM. So there wouldn't be an IBM without a black man named Mark Dean. Right? Okay. Henry T. Sampson, we did that already. It's Henry T. Sampson also was the first man to convert nuclear energy into electricity. Negro. When you see a power plant,
Salakia, sir.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Israel is the smartest on the earth.
What I'm saying
from all the things you just listed that.
Yeah.
Salakia?
Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
No, we had a little delay. That's all. That's why we're kind of off. But I was just saying, from what you're saying, Israel is definitely the smartest on the earth. Like there is no one more smart than a black man, an Hispanic man, or a Native American, right? When it comes to Moab is famous for putting two knives on a rope and trying to use it as a weapon, right? That's just not smart.
Salakia, if I may.
Yeah.
There are traffic lights in China. Do the Chinese know that traffic lights were invented by Garrett Morgan in 1922?
That's right, brother. That's right.
You understand? Like,
Yeah,
so like that one, if I may, the sewage, the sewer system was modeled after, if I'm not mistaken, the Mayan or the Incan Empire, which is still Israelite regardless.
That's right.
You understand? But that's what we have throughout the whole wide world. But no one's gonna speak about it. Then they're calling us stupid, they're calling us violent, they're calling us dumb. You understand? Yeah. We're like my neighborhood is called NDG. After the budget been there, I told him already, the heathens dubbed it no damn good. But we're the smartest people on earth.
Absolutely correct. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing that was going on in Egypt. You know what I mean? In Egypt, they had all the 12 tribes, and of course, with the 12 tribes, like we said, Barak Yalla, with the sewer system, with the 12 tribes, you're gonna have irrigation. That's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get all of the genius, technological engineering, build anything. To this day, they got documentaries to say aliens must have built them pyramids, because there's no way anybody on Earth can put those size stones all together and slide them together so smooth on the outside. they gotta credit aliens for Negroes' works.
God.
For our excellencies.
Right.
You gotta give the credit to aliens.
Right.
It's a lockout of one.
Niggas is so great. Yeah.
Niggas are out of this world.
Niggas is out of this world.
Yeah.
The lockout is out of one.
The Israelites.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kaidon, if you can read the scripture, Babu Gusha.
Like Officer Azahab.
Go ahead, Barack. Go ahead.
Real quick, just like you mentioned about the pyramids, how they're not gonna give us credit. You understand? Oh, the aliens must have built the pyramids in Mesoamerica, in Egypt. Just like they say, well, you know what? All the so-called music that we create, whether it's salsa, zouk, dancehall, merengue, it doesn't come from us. It comes from Africa.
That's what they're saying. It can't be from these Negroes.
Right.
It can't be these niggas. When we left. Our people left Africa in what 1600s, and they wasn't able to make a new beat, a new genre until 2022.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a lockout of one. You know the worst thing is that
until the same drum, the same rhythm, they beat the same drum, the same rhythm until they can get back in contact with us.
It's a lockout,
of one.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
1 second.
Real quick. Okay, I want to Salakia. Go ahead, Kyle. One.
Salakia, quick and fast, sir. Afrobeat today is just trap dancehall. Salakia, let me just lift that.
Good night. I was about to say the exact same thing.
God. Salakia.
No sweat.
Yeah. Afrobeat today is identity theft, man. That's what that is.
Right.
Yeah, man. It's copyright infringement of culture.
Man, might be scamming. That's what they're doing. That's what you get with Afrobeats. A scam dance.
That's right. Is that the Nigerians are the best at Afrobeats, but Nigerians are known scammers.
Right.
No one's gonna mention that though.
So it's lucky, sir. Them always say, they took the strongest, the smartest from Africa. And them right. But the problem is, we weren't African. You understand?
Damn right.
That's why we were stronger, faster, everything smarter. Like Officer Azahab said, see, we've left Africa from the 1600s. You understand? And they didn't create one beat. And the reason why they didn't create one beat is because the people who make beats left Africa. You understand?
That's right.
So like your officer Azahab, just before Kyle reads the verse, just to add on real quick, it's even like, you see how Haiti got freed himself from slavery. They were the first to free themselves. The French are so prideful, they will not even admit that the so-called slaves that they had were stronger and smarter than them. That's how they freed themselves. But because they would not admit it, you understand, they're too prideful to admit it. You understand, they're gonna invent the voodoo narrative, saying, well, you know what, they were drinking chicken blood. That's how we have all the chicken sacrifices in Haiti now. They would say they were drinking chicken blood, they were performing black magic. That's how they were able to push us back and kick us out of Haiti. When the reality is, they were just, their military was stronger and they were smarter than the French and Napoleon. Salaki out of one.
Come. You go talk to TITHES too about that, the Haitian history too. They was in there saying that they were Israelites. Man, I had pictures of them, man. What's the name? John Jacques Dessalines.
Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
Yeah, he used to rock the shit of David on a belt around his chest, and then let the French tell it. They go paint him back. They go paint his name to Saint Louverture. They go paint him back without the shit of David, and now he's on 5-point American looking star. You know what I mean?
Good,
Lying on
right?
us. Yeah, trying to take the excellency of it. Read the scripture here, Kaidwan.
This is the book of Nahum, chapter 2 and verse 2. For the Lord has turned away the excellency of Jacob.
The Lord have turned away the excellency of Jacob for our sins. For our sins, the Lord has raised up these people from the other side of the earth, whose language we did not understand. Everything you read about in Deuteronomy 28, because we're Christians, because we're Muslims.
Right.
Now, cause is German and Japanese and American. Cause are not from Negroes no more because we chose to be Christian. Keep reading.
As the excellency of Israel.
As the excellency of that, as means like to, like the excellency of Israel, meaning what? We used to be excellent.
Right.
So the whole world could look at us and be like, yo, you guys are out of this world, and now the Lord turned it away from us. Now you're a bum.
Right.
Now it's not, we don't have enough jail cells for you. Keep reading.
For the emptiers, emptied.
For the who? For the who?
The emptiers.
For the who?
The emptiers.
God called these people the emptiers.
Right.
Why won't the Christian read this right here? Why won't the Christians say, when Christians saying God love all people? Why don't they ask, does God love the emptiers too? You know what I mean? Because there's the emptiers right here. Keep reading.
For the emptiers have emptied them out.
The emptiers have, you know why Jamaica's poor? Jamaica's poor because the emptiers emptied Jamaica out. But Jamaica don't got nothing because the emptiers emptied them.
Right.
It's not because black people were selling black people in Africa. Black people can't come together. No. Black people have been emptied out according to the Lord in the Bible. Keep reading.
And marred their vine branches.
Marred means to destroy. Marred their vine branch. The branches mean your family.
God.
The emptiers have destroyed our families in the Bible.
Right.
It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. We've been emptied out, and our branches, our families have been destroyed in the Bible. So, lucky. Anybody want to go somewhere? Go ahead. Now with the excellency of Jacob, right? I want to say this again. Henry T. Sampson converted nuclear energy into electricity. He was the inventor of gamma electric cells. Behind him, where's the other one? Behind him was another black man, a slave called Donald Cotton. He created the capillary liquid fuel nuclear reactor. Okay. I should be okay with that.
Salaki, I don't want, if I may.
Yeah.
Every great invention, they're not gonna give us credit for. They only want to give us credit for the bad things. You understand? You're gonna say, well, you know, y'all responsible for the black on black crime, the drugs in the neighborhood, the food. Good night. The food that we eat, they want to give us credit for that. When, you know, let's say we have fried pork, or what do you call it in the south of the states, chitlins, or I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, chitlins.
Right. You know, like there was no pigs on the American continent before the oppressor came over here. But yeah, they want to give us credit for that. I don't know if y'all eat that in Jamaica, but in Martinique we have what we call boudin. Boudin is like a pig's blood sausage. You understand? We never had that before the oppressor came, yet they want to give us credit for that. Everything that's bad, they'll give us credit for. Everything that's good and that make the world go around, you know, understand, make nation prosper, we're not gonna get credit for nothing. A lot out of one.
Absolutely correct, man. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, with that said, again, this has been an excellent episode of The Rise 1969. We'll be right back again next Sunday between the 5 to 6 o'clock hour. right? So we'll be back next Sunday. I want to give a big shout out to Officer Hazahab, Officer Abadawan, and Officer Kayadwan for joining us today in Canada.
Yeah, right.
Listen, it's a excellent thing when you have brothers. I haven't met Officer Hazahab. Lord allow, I get to meet him next year, right? As I work on what I can to get into the United States. I've met Officer Abadawan, Officer Kayadwan. Listen, I talk to Baraki Allah every day, and these are my the brotherhood in the UPK is excellent. If you don't know, you should come and find out. I'm gonna leave it at that. Officer Hazahab, you have anything else you want to say?
Throughout for having me, man. You know what I mean? Throughout to be here, man. I mean, it's always mighty when the brothers come together, man. You know
Damn
what
right,
I mean?
sir.
Yeah, big up to the brothers in Canada, man. UPK Canada. You know what I mean?
What other one?
All right.
Come on, big up Canada.
Sir. Officer Abadawan and Officer Kayadwan, do y'all have anything else y'all want to say?
I hear that our brother the Mexicans are very good at making tunnels, you know. So maybe you can talk to some of them. You know. I'm coming to the United. Come at the next Passover. Right.
Listen, I'm gonna figure it out. One thing I do know, I heard the generals are going to London. I've been saving and sacrificing. I'm trying to make it to London. So, Lord allow, for my brothers who make it there, I get to see you then. Again, until then, if not, I'll see you. Lord allow, I see y'all at the Passover. Officer Kayadwan, you any closing remarks?
Yeah, just to say to order for the man them, you know what I mean, the invitation to this, you know what I mean, bad show, you know what I mean. So like, yeah, go ahead. Sir.
Hold on, before you go on there, Officer Azab, when is the Mexico trip again?
Say it again.
Wait, the Mexico trip?
Ooh, what's going on?
Right. What's going on?
I know. There was a talk about it. We're supposed to have major council this week. We'll probably know about all of that in major council for those who want to go. You know what I mean?
Most ain't crazy.
Also, you gotta right quick about there, right?
God.
You and other y'all probably gotta go look about something where some Christian radio show or something like that. You know what I mean? We go put together some money and get on some radio shows out there. Some Christian radio show where they offer a slot for $100 for an hour or something like that. You know what I mean? $100 for 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
I'll put that in my notes right now, sir.
You know what I mean? You just play back some parts of any show you had and just run it on there for 30 minutes. You just make sure it's clean and you know what I mean? Always abounding in the work of the Lord. You know what I mean? Let me get that scripture too right quick before we go. 1 Corinthians 15:58.
Come on. We said 1 Corinthians, what chapter are the one?
15:58.
15:58. Come on. Give me 1 second. I have it right there. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord.
Always abounding in the work of the Lord. You know what I mean? Keep reading.
For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
That's right. In the truth, the labor is not in vain. Just find work and do it. That's how we gotta be.
Right.
Find any work and just do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? Find your way in somewhere with somebody and something in the work of the Most High and just do it and then worry about all the other things later. Just drive there with no gas and get stuck there and find your way back home after. You know what I mean? All right. It's a body on you, all right?
Officer Kayadwan, if he had any closing remarks.
So like, yeah, just to say big up to the man them in Canada, you know what I mean? Big up to Officer Azahab, you know what I mean? Big up to Officer Abadawan. Remember, like, share, subscribe, you know the thing already.
That's right.
Hey, let's get it. Barack, you can close out the show.
Damn right. Hey, you already know this is the host doing the most. You understand? Tune in every Sunday evening to the best show in the world, the Rise 1969 podcast. Big up to Officer 1000 Azahab, Officer 1000 Abadawan, straight out of Jamaica, Officer 1000 Zabadia, 500 Kayadwan, you understand? And listen, I'm going to say that in French. À tous les soi-disant négros latino-amérindiens, le ISPK est la maison de la vérité. Vous comprenez? Si vous voulez changer votre vie, vous comprenez? Si vous voulez être protégé avec les prochains jours qui sont à venir, venez dans le ISPK sous la gouvernance du commandant général Yahanna. Vous comprenez? Come into the I.S.U.P.K to also call Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Understand? If you want protection, if you want brotherhood, especially with the days that are coming, come into the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? And one last thing, listen, we started having a versus between the Jamaican Benjamin and the French Benjamin. You understand? Officers of Biden know what I'm talking about. We're gonna be back at it next week. You understand? So far we up 1-0. You know, we up 1-0. You understand? But listen, we're gonna be back at it next week. If you want a Mitri, if you want the flyest garments, you understand? If you want that velour on your contour, you understand? Hey, holla at Hazahab Collection on Facebook. Hazahab Collection on Facebook, you understand? He has everything. Like, stop buying Gucci, stop buying, what do they call it? The stupid Italian names out there, you understand? Go check Hazahab Collection on Facebook. Holla at the man above me, Officer 1000 Hazahab, you understand?
5,000. Hey. 5,000.
Oh, Salakia, 5,000 Hazahab. Good night. Don't take me to council, other one. Yes, Salakia, but you know, holla at Officer 5,000 Hazahab. He has everything you need. You understand? With that said, l'homme blanc est le foutu diable dont parle la Bible. Blanc maintenant c'est diable. The white man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. El hombre blanco es un pinche diablo que habla la Biblia. Hasta la próxima. See you next week, Israel. Shalom. Yahweh Shabbat. Yahweh Shema Tamba Shino Shai.
Hey, Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yoshai Rakatha. Yahweh Shema Latham Bashon Shai. And to this.